My name is Fave and I'm working at the Life Celebrant.
I'm Bob, photographer. Now I set up my own company doing corporate photography.
How long have you been working at this place?
Around a year plus.
I'm very curious to know why you choose this line of work.
It's my dream job. I think it's a very meaningful job, and because as an embalmer, I don't have to talk to people, so yeah. And yeah, I'm interested in those autopsy kind of thing. Yeah.
Could you tell us what exactly does your job involve, an embalmer's job?
Now I'm an apprentice as an embalmer, but other than that, I'm working as Showers of Love Angel, which we help the deceased to shower, dressing, makeup, and we also do the operation, which is setting up the place for the funeral.
I understand that portrait photography is something you are very interested and keen. You mentioned earlier on about moving away from documentary photography to portrait photography. Why did you choose to move into portrait photography?
I used to work for a newspaper for 10 years. I've been shooting news photograph. And when I left the newspaper and then started my own company, most of the job is about portrait photography, corporate and also other portraits. So I'm trying to challenge myself. If I can only use one photograph to tell the things, that'll be quite fun in the process of to create the photograph. To capture any photograph, it's just a split-second thing, but it will last forever. Humans tend to forget things very easily. You can imagine that if there's no photograph, there's no news footages, how are you going to refer back what's happening at that time?
Would you regard yourself as an essential worker?
Yeah, because people pass away daily. So unless there's a technology in the future that allows people not to die, then we will not count as an essential worker. But for now, yes.
Essential workers, during that time we have hawkers, we get hawker centers, we're working cleaners and frontliners who like medical staff, right? I mean, most of the time during that period we mentioned about the medical staff, but actually like them, they're also working very hard. You know? I mean, there are risks during the work. I mean, you don't know that who are you going to meet, where's the location, is there any virus around? I mean, they are still working. I think that's important. During
the circuit breaker, we start working from home. Only when there's a case or necessary, then will we go back to the office. We start having reception area, especially Mandai. So actually even at the wake, we need to have a safe entry counter and also write down their name and all before they can proceed into the wake venue.
Because of the circuit breakers, some of the family preferred live streaming instead of being physically present. What is your response on that?
I think live stream is better than nothing for the family.
What does it involve, live streaming?
Live stream, everything, actually the whole ceremony from the start to the end of the viewing hall and also with the reception. So it will stop at where the family leave Mandai.
What made you choose Fave as your talent to photograph?
When I do the project, I decided to choose the jobs that is less visible to public, yet important. I think one of them is the funeral operator. So, like I mentioned, I talked to the director and I told her I want to do the shoot. That's how I managed to capture Fave in the photograph.
Because I find this a perfect example of symmetry. When I looked at it, everything is balanced proportionately. So it took a while before you came up with this. You know, I didn't know that it was arranged in such a way.
Since it's a series of photographs, so I want to make sure that the styles all looks the same. All of them just need to stand straight and then look into the camera. Of course, when I finding the angles, I try to include as much information as possible so that through one photograph can tell their trait. When I compose the photograph, I come to Fave, say funeral operator, of course I need a coffin. On the day when I went down, there's actually a deceased is in the same room, and I asked the permission from the families, and they say yes, of course you can take the photograph. Okay, out of respect, maybe I can not to include the body, but I will include the funeral setup and also of course the coffin. Like I mentioned before, the informations in the photograph is important. Little things. If Fave portrait without the coffin and without the funeral setup, who is she?
If suppose we don't know, right? There might be a pandemic. Would you be willing to go out into the field again?
Yeah, of course. I think when I have more time, I will really go back to approach the funeral director again to continue
the series.
Yeah.
To me, this exhibition is very exciting because it's the first time for me to be able to talk to you, the photographer and the talent. So this interview gives the opportunity 3 parties to come together to share their experiences or their reflections. It's good to have this interview session because the human element comes across, the storytelling potential behind the photograph. So, the photograph is there, but there are a lot more stories to be told, right? The potential of the photograph to spark conversations like this is something I feel is very meaningful and should be made known to as many people as possible.